Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu. Ami Omar Elohechem, Nachamu, Nachamu. Ami Omar Elohechem.
Adonai Oz Lamo Yutin Adonai Yivarech et Amo Vashalom. May God grant strength to God's people. May God bestow on God's people well-being. May this be a Shabbat of well-being, of shalom, of peace, of shlemut, of wholeness, of comfort, as the cantor was singing. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. May my people be comforted. It has been a scary last few days, and we'll have an opportunity tonight to discuss with each other our experiences, our hopes, our dreams for the future too. But first, let's set that aside and just ease into Shabbat. And let's start that by welcoming each other. I see people already doing that in the chat. If you haven't yet, wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. If you're on YouTube, you can do that too. If you're in a room with someone, give them a hug, give them a kiss, wish them Shabbat Shalom. As we create our Sukkot Shalom, our canopy of peace throughout the internet here. So let us light our Shabbat candles.
Oh, hear our prayer, we sing to you. Be gracious to the ones we love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear our prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen.
we continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat. We sing psalms and zmirot, songs together that help us to warm up for Shabbat. We bring the angels into our homes alongside the light that we have just brought into our Shabbat experience, and we sing together Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ochem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Etchem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We sing Psalm 96 on page 13 if you have the prayer books. Shiru L'Adonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God a new song. Let's make that a prayer of hope and positivity. May our new song give us hope, give us strength to continue. Shiru L'Adonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru L'Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru L'Adonai, Baruch Shemo. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato. Sapru bagoyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim nifleoto. Ki gadol Adonai u'mehulal me'od. Norahu al kol ha'elohim. Let's sing a new song. Shiru L'Adonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru L'Adonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru L'Adonai, Baruch Shemo. Ubasru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
We come to L'Chadodi, a love song to Shabbat. Shabbat, the vision of the world as it could be. Let's bring this vision of the world as it could be into our weeks so that we can work for this world as it should be, as it could be, after we renew ourselves with the rest of Shabbat. Page 20.
Penei Shabbat nekab elai lechadodi. Yalalai likrat kala. Yalalai penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekab elai. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה B'nei Shabbat nekavela. לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי מכל הברכה, בראש מכם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. שבת מקבלה. בואי ושלום כתבת בנה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונית סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאללה לך דודי, יאללה לקראת כלה, יאללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקרא. And it is our time to rise up. We have warmed up and we are moving into the Ma'ariv, the Baruch Hu. We have our call to worship. If you are able, please stand up, extend yourself, and be ready to receive and give blessings. Blessed is the Blessed One, blessed is the giver of blessing, blessed is this moment now and every now to come. Blessed is the blessed now, blessed is the giver of blessing, blessed is this moment now and every now to come. Come on you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come, come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Now you respond. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come, come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses.
We prayed together on page 30, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בדברו מעריב ערבים, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים, מחליף את הזמנים, מסדר את הכוכבים, במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור.
ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד איתו חלום לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
אמן.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
אמן.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד, שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם לעולם ועד. And if you have risen, please take this moment to sit down and we continue with more verses of love. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. לכם אמת.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, and there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
So last Shabbat, we introduced a new melody for Mi Chamocha. So tonight we try it again until we're all able to sing it together. Mi Chamocha B'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'kodesh, Norat Elot, Hosef Eleh, Norat Elot, Hosef Eleh, Hosef Eleh. One more time, Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha B'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar B'kodesh, Norat Elot, Osef Eleh, Norat Elot, Osef Eleh, Osef Eleh. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen.
We continue with Hashkivenu. We're gonna sing the alternative on page 43, Let There Be Love. I feel like it's appropriate for this time and this day and this Shabbat for all of us to give and receive love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Sing together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leshalom, Ve'ha'amidenu shomreinu lechaim, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. And maybe if we sing it again, there will be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Let's let those words settle in our hearts before we continue with Shamru, reminding us how important this time is, how important it is to have time for holiness and time to stop and breathe before we see what's next. So let's sing those verses from Torah. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת We continue with Amidah. Amidah means to stand. Some of you have already risen. If you are comfortable, if you are able, I invite you to rise. I invite you to take a moment to take account of yourself, of your surroundings, of your own body. I bet you this week has been so rough emotionally and spiritually that I'm sure we're holding some of that tension in our body. So let's really take a breath together as one community. Those of us who were so lucky yesterday to share in our counseling group with our favorite Gail Lulk, who taught us how to really redirect our mind. How do we redirect our mind for good? And a lot of the times it's just really about checking in and finding out how we feel. And then we're going to ask to open up our lips so we can say God's glory. There is so much to be thankful for. Adonai, sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, sfatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך אדוני שפתיי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך תשמיעני ששון ושמחה ברוח נדיבה תשמחני, תשמיעני ששון ושמחה ברוח נדיבה תשמחני. And we say with a pure heart, that God has created for us, and this true spirit, please renew our soul once again. We will continue independently with the prayers of the Amidah. לב טהור ברא לי אלוהים, ברוח נכון חדש בקרבי, ופי יגיד תהילתך.
Prayer for our country from the Union Prayer Book that is still beloved in the Reformed community. It's in Mishkan Tefillah today. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul. May the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed are you, Adonai, the source of peace.
All of our country is in need of healing this week. We are going to say prayers of healing for particular members of our community. At this time, we are going to think of Charlotte Averman, Judy Allen, Joyce Becker, Larry Benson, Judy Blaustein, Margot Blaustein, Claudia DiGesu, Nicholas DiGesu, Melissa Feldstein, Ted Fried, Jerry Gundy, Lena Alexandrova Berlovich Hammer, Margaret Hollingsworth, Oliver David Horn, Sheila Carner, Leon Kurland, Joseph Lupkin, Lori Mazzarella, Michael Morrissey, Barbara Perrette, Judy Regona, Bobsy Rifkin, David Rifkin, Eileen Reinfleisch, Charlie Rosenthal, Karen Russo, Don Rubin, Barbara Sabiri, Deb Sabiri, Bernice Side, Glenn Switinsky, Marjorie Van Dow, Lisa Wolper, and Edie Weinstein. I invite you, as always, to name the people that you are thinking of. Mom, Muriel Chase, Ronald Levinson, thank you. Please share the name in the chat, or even just send those names of those people you're thinking of into the universe so we can bring them to the forefront of our mind and send prayers of healing for all of those people and to ourselves. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say with refuah shelema, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
And so this Shabbat, we come to Parashat Shemot, the beginning parasha, the beginning portion of the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus, the story of our people's freedom, liberation from slavery in Egypt. And we meet Moses, someone who is raised in Pharaoh's house, but sees an act of injustice when he leaves that house and takes a step towards justice. He doesn't know that his small step will be the beginning of a grand narrative. He doesn't know what will happen down the line, but he takes that step because he knows it's the right thing to do throughout our Torah portion. When he kills the Egyptian taskmaster, when he works to bring peace between two Israelite slaves, when he's in exile in Midian and he protects women at a well, when he goes looking, our tradition says, for one little lamb that leaves his flock, and then he finds the burning bush, and then one great step is when he decides to return back to Egypt to be the leader of his people. These steps for doing the right thing at the time, in the moment, you don't know how they're going to play out in the grand scheme of things, in the grand narrative. But it wasn't just Moses. There are others in our Torah portion who take steps in the moment to get Moses to where he can take a step. I want to read this beautiful quote from the late Amos Oz and his daughter Fania Oz Salzberger from the book Jews and Words, writing about our Torah portion. It may take a village, they say, to raise a child, but it takes more than one mother or one type of mother to raise a nation. Then comes the wonderful team of Exodus. No fewer than 6 resourceful women brought Moshe into the world and kept him there. Mother Yocheved and sister Miriam, of course. Also the midwives, Shifra and Puah, who are not on record as delivering Moses, but must have inspired his family by brazenly resisting Pharaoh's orders to kill all male Hebrew babes. The second pair are Pharaoh's daughter and her alert maid. Maternally and humanely brave, carefully planning and cleverly cooperating, this unlikely sextet outwitted bad government and brutal laws. Together, they saved the boy who would become the savior of a people. How many Jewish men have noticed over those long millennia that we owe the nation's greatest son and leader to the ingenuity and courage of 4 Hebrew and 2 Egyptian women? And where exactly was Father Amram, Moses' dad? Out for a drink? So I want to break us again into breakout groups like we did a couple weeks ago. But I'm going to type in the chat box what I want you to discuss. First, how are you feeling right now? What's your experience been these last few days? But then, and this is an exercise I did with a class last night. Who are the people, the stories, the events of your life that have inspired you to make a difference? Like Moses, like Miriam and Yocheved, like the midwives, like Pharaoh's daughter. Who are these people? Sometimes just doing small things in the world. Small things at the time, we don't know how big they'll be later, that have inspired you, who have taught you how to live a life of goodness. It's been a scary, hard, a tense, a shocking, maybe not surprising week. But let's come together to discuss the next steps. So I'm going to put you into breakout rooms for, let's say, try to pace yourself. We'll give you 7-8 minutes. Please go to the breakout rooms. We want to hear from everybody. And if you're on YouTube, please feel free to come onto Zoom right now to go into the breakout rooms. I'm just looking over them. Just a second. And I'll be floating between them. Please choose when it says, when the prompt comes up to go to the breakout room, please go. Stop. I don't know how to go into the breakout
Sign yourself.
room.
I have a question.
shalom imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru Oseh shalom imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
And if you want, you can put in the chat things that you learned, things that inspired you, things that you discussed. I want to wrap this up by telling you about a picture I saw in the paper on Thursday. Not a real paper online, but it was all around a lot of different websites that gave me hope, inspired me. And it was a picture of Congressman Jason Crow, who is a congressman, fairly new congressman from Colorado, who was a former Army Ranger. And there's a picture of him crouching in the House gallery. You see the people around getting ready to put on the gas, the portable gas masks that were under their seats, but you see him crouched and he's ready to do what he can to help because he has training to help. With one hand, it's like ready to do something, but then the other hand, he's holding the hand of his colleague, comforting her. And I thought that really encapsulates how we should be in the world. We should be ready to go, ready to make a difference. And the difference we're making with the other hand is a hand of comfort and mercy and peace, and chesed is really the best word I could think of in Hebrew, just love. And I'm saddened that that picture had to have been taken, but I think it's a beautiful one that can give us all inspiration, that the congressman right there in that moment was just making one choice based on what he can do right then. And that choice makes a huge difference. So may we all, like Moshe, like Yocheved and Miriam, like Shifra and Puah, like Bat Paro, the daughter of Pharaoh and her unnamed maid. May we all continue living our life, making these choices for love and justice, not knowing what the big picture is, but knowing that that's what we're called to do at that moment. Karen puts in the chat box, Karen Analyx said, photos also of New Jersey Representative Andy Kim helping to clean up after the vote. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. So friends, let's continue with our Shabbat service.
Before we continue with Aleinu, I just want to say that just like this week's Torah portion, the heroes of the Torah portion are the women, Bat Paro and Shifra and Puah. In Shabbat Shirah, which is coming up January 29th, plug a lug, 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 the hero is also a woman, Miriam. And I invite everybody here to join us in this very special service where we honor and empower the woman's voice in our community. So thank you for that.
So let's all rise. If you're able, rise in spirit, rise in body, page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליותר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. Oh, may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
It's our honor right now to invite our congregant, Karen Analik, to offer some words before the Kaddish.
Josh? All right, I guess I'm not being highlighted. All right. At this time last year, we all had quite different hopes and aspirations for what 2020 would hold for us. Celebrations, vacations, time with family. Some of these would have been quiet and small, while others would have been loud and noisy reunions, all providing us a chance to be with those we cared for, to see, to talk, to share our thoughts, and to share hugs and an abundance of love. I first began to hear of COVID-19 when my boss was on vacation in Asia. She had first visited her military doctor's son stationed in South Korea, and then was on a once-in-a-lifetime cruise. This ship was one of the first to be denied entry after entry into ports that were closing for fear of this virus. Then came March, and our country very much learned to fear it too. Our celebrations, vacations, time with family, and more were taken from us. I would bet if asked for a show of hands, very few attending tonight's service would not have been affected by COVID in one way or another. For me, it became so personal when my mother-in-law died at the end of October. While her death was not due to COVID, the lockdown on her residence and the inability for this very social butterfly to be around others, especially her family, was hard for her and us. I had not seen Naomi for over a year, giving precious visiting time to other family members when we could finally see her in July. She is still very much in all of our thoughts, and her laughter will always be with us. In memory of Naomi and all others lost recently or in this past year, I share the following. Whenever death comes, it is too soon for those of us left to mourn. When death leaves adults to grieve over parents or grandparents, aged aunts or older siblings, and it is an imponderable anguish. But we bow to God's plan. Yet when death comes too soon, wounding parents who will never see their children growing, hurting children too young to understand, or spouses who ache for just one more hug, it can seem that God has abandoned us. But death and our pain are as much a part of life as our joys and strivings. To live is to be touched by death. May we always remember to reach out to those who mourn and never to forsake God who has given us life.
And so now we thank you, Karen, and now we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. Those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We think of the recent death of Michael Raskin. In the period of Shloshim, the first month of mourning, Reba Goldstein. And this week marks the Yartzeit, the anniversary of the death of Ira Baskin, Seymour H. Bauer, Basia Benjamin, Arnold Brower, Ray Cherniak, Maurice Chayet, Evangeline Fernandez, Louis Flatt, Michael Gorman, Erwin Granville, Helen Jacobs, Morris Jeweler, Irving Kitsis, Myra Laufer, Arthur LeBlanc, Rita Leff, Vera Lewis, Beverly Rassis, Mary Rossman, Paul Ruslan, Sarah Rudnick, Joseph Schwartz, Harriet Vogel, and Rose C. Wexler. If there are those you're remembering whose name was not mentioned, please feel free to put their name in the chat. Please say their name at home. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. If you want, you can unmute yourself. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, ve'olam olamei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitromam, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yitalev, Yithalal, Shemei Dekudasha, Barichu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Let's join together in Kiddush.
I'll take a half hour to unmute myself. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו. בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו. זיכרון למעשה וראשית. ויום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. אנו בחרת אותנו, קידשת מכל עמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון. חלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. Chaim.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat shalom. Stay and schmooze.